Hey team, are you stuck throwing the same old combination on the bag, not really knowing how to put new ones together? If so, in today's video we're going to show you how to build your combinations and really break down your opponent's guard. Let's go! Welcome back to the channel, guys. So, breaking down your opponent's guard and/or how do I build new combinations? It's a common problem. I often have it in here. Beginners turn around and say, oh, I don't know what to throw in the bag, or I don't know how to hit the bag, don't know what I should be thinking when I'm hitting the bag. So what we're going to look at is ways to break down your opponent's guard, which will help you build better combinations and more realistic combinations. Let's dig in. Breaking down your opponent's guard. So, let's take head movement and footwork out of the equation. We're talking about someone who employs a high guard. Firstly, your high guard. Bit of a bugbear for me. I see people doing this with their high guard. Yeah. See my elbows come up? I don't like that. Some people coach that and that's fine. I don't like putting my hands to my head. I like putting, because look what it does. Expose it here. I like putting my head to my hands. I can still see you. Just here, I lift my shoulders up and that still keeps my elbows nice and tight. That's something you might want to think about. But essentially when someone pulls a high guard, and we're not talking about head movement, I have my hands, my forearms and my elbows to defend myself. I can choose to defend the center line or the flanks. I cannot do both. If I'm choosing to defend the center line, if you look, my flanks are open. If I'm choosing to defend my flanks, my center line is open. So, building your combinations. If you notice when you're doing your little sparring or when you're working on your bag, you want to be thinking center line and flanks. If I constantly throw down the center line, I can block them all day long. I want to be creating an effect where someone defends the center line, then attacking the flanks. We'll get onto body as well, but essentially, center line. Now we can deploy that nice rear hook around. What happens when someone defends that though? They defend the center line, rear hook's coming around, and they start to defend the flank. Opens the center line. So maybe start thinking about center line, flank, center line. Jab, jab, flank, center line. Let's just have a look how that would look on a bag. So, my opponent or my bag has a center line and two flanks. We just spoke about they have a good high guard in here. So if I send my double jab down to get the high guard up, I can go around that with my long range hook. Potentially, doesn't always work. Remember, your long range hook is like your straight back hand. It's released early on the rotation and comes around. Double jab, get the center line defended, around. Maybe they defend the flank. If they defend the flank, the center line is open. So we get a nice double jab, long range rear hook, 1-2 down the pipe. Something to think about. So there I'm attacking center line, flank and center line again. Center line, flank, center line. Let's have a look at a few more things we can do. So flanks also consist of your body shots, which is why you should be training to defend your body shots without dropping your hands. So, if I have my high guard and you're throwing a body shot, sorry, if I have my normal guard and you throw a body shot, the golden rule is you go elbow to hip. We don't go hand down to defend. For the obvious reason, you just open the flank up top. If you notice something, no, it's virtually impossible to go, if I defend a liver shot, and go elbow to hip, that does open up this side. Yeah? Because that's now lifted. Or, for instance, you throw a backhand down the centre line to the body. We've spoke about body shots before. Remember, it's not punching down. I change levels and drive. Maybe they have a really good elbow defence for that parry. Remember, that's not this, that's a rotation. Look what happens if you send that shot down the centre line and I elbow block that and rotate, that then opens up the flank. Same here, elbow block, opens up the flank. If you throw your hook and I rotate, this is a clever one. I'll take this hand out of the equation. So you're throwing a hand down the centre line and I parry correctly. Yeah? But it doesn't open up much. However, what it does do, it opens up my centre line on the flank. If I do it from here, right, so your shot's coming down here and I parry, unless I'm going to go like this, my centre line's going to be open. But centre line's open down the flank. So, maybe I go centre line, and that one gets blocked and opens up. There's my body shot. Maybe you block my parry, that opens up my centre line on the flank. Again, here. Or, common combination of 2-3-2. Lead backhand, lead hook, sorry, a rear backhand, it's because I'm a southpaw. Rear backhand, lead hook, and a backhand. One of them usually gets through because it's virtually impossible to defend everything. Centre line, flank, centre line. Head, body, head. Body, centre line. Body, flank. Body, centre line. Head, flank. They all work. So let's have a few things on the bag that we could possibly be working. So, when I'm stringing my combinations together, I'm always thinking, how is my opponent likely to defend that when I'm working a bag? If it doesn't defend it, cool, my shot landed. Centre line, head, centre line, body. Maybe they're rotated to open up their flank. There's a nice shot on the end of this. So, maybe we go head, body, body, head. Works quite nicely. You don't know how they're going to defend it. The other thing you want to be thinking as well is, one of the reasons why I like someone like Lomachenko so much is because he's calculated. If you're already sparring, look for how your opponent does stuff. If you watch Lomachenko, he spends a couple of rounds downloading information. He probes that, you sees what you does, stores that in the bank, and capitalize it in the rounds later. I know you can't do that in the amateurs. You don't have time to do that. You have to go. You have to advance to the enemy and attack. It's not quite the same principle. I was sparring with someone the other day. I can't remember exactly what I'd done, but I threw something and noticed, because I'm a southpaw, noticed when I threw that shot, they were orthodox, as they, whatever movement that hand dropped. I thought, I'll just test that again. Whatever it was I'd done, hand dropped again. So, okay, got your number on that one. So I went to throw it again, faked it, and boom, shot came round because the hand dropped. You need to start looking and probing defences. Centre line, head, body, flanks. Often when someone defends a hook, they don't just catch it, they often roll, which opens up the flank on the other side. String your hooks together. Maybe I've attacked centre line, and they roll with that hook. Opens up the flank to that side. Guarantee the body's open. So we get here. One of them shots is likely to land. It's virtually impossible to break down everything. Let's also have a look at framing to break down someone's guard. Just as a top tip, as a beginner, look at yourself in the mirror when you do your guard. This is a common mistake that a lot of beginners make, and they don't realise they do it. So they get their stance, they go toe, heel, and line. I know I've gone slightly off topic, it just came to my head. A lot of beginners, they don't blade their shoulders, they come a bit square. My centre line is fully accessible. Yeah, make sure you're bladed, you want to present as minimal target as possible. Anyway, framing, something I do a lot of, and I've had a lot of success with. You can do close range frames, mid range frames, long range frames. We're going to talk about long range frames. So if I'm sparring with someone and I do have a high guard a lot. I try and keep that high guard occupied. So maybe I'm not even trying to hit you hard. Pop, pop, pop. Once the high guard is up, I frame against the hand I want to attack. Now when you frame, you don't want to frame with your knuckle part of the glove. You want to frame with the palm part of your glove. And strong arm, like a long guard. If my arm is bent, I'm too close and this person can collapse onto me. I still have a frame, but they can collapse onto me. I want a nice strong frame from there, and it wants to be palm up. I'll do it with gloves on in the bag in a moment. The reason why I like this, I do this all the time, particularly as a southpaw. Not saying you can't do this as an orthodox, you can, 100%. I'll do it as an orthodox. So, if someone's legs have gone, or they just like to employ a high guard, to have a good high guard defense from here, get the hands up, frame against the hand. So at this, I'm imagining my framing against your lead hand, bah, 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 frame. I'm going to pull that down and come round the flank from there. I do it a lot with southpaw. I frame with my backhand, pull that around, get my lead hook around from there. Framing is excellent. One, it distracts you. High guard, if I frame against you, you can't tell if I've just cut round that angle or cut round this angle. It's something you should practice. There's something we'll look at on the bag that if you're going to do this, you need to make sure you're doing. So let's have a look at that on the bag. Don't forget, everything is a probability, nothing is a given. These are just tactics, okay? So when I'm framing, notice my hand is up. I want to be able to use this part of my glove to pull your hand down. If I frame against you like that, I've got no control whatsoever. I want to be able to frame on top of your glove. So the key point, when you pull, because you want to practice pulling the hand down, it's not this. Jab, cross, jab, pull down and throw. You can see the obvious problem. Pull that hand down, that comes immediately back to your chin for defense. So we get jab, cross, jab. I'm framing against the hand, I'm going to pull it down. And this may look like a straight, it's not. I'm going around, I'm attacking the flank. Jab, cross, jab, pull down, around on the flank. And note my hand came straight back to my chin. Please don't do this. Your opponent will spot it, okay? If he knows what he's doing, he'll spot it. Little exit on the end as well. Same can be done with the backhand. You can frame against the other hand. Put it down, throw your hook. Southpaws, this works really, really well. Framing with the backhand and going to our right. To create that angle that all orthodox people hate. Frames are brilliant. Just make sure if you practice it, it's not this. See, my arm is bent. It's a nice long guard. Palm is up as much as you can in a glove. Pull. Come around the flank and get your hand back to the chin. Definitely practice your frames for breaking down this guard. All we're looking at is pulling that hand down and attacking. Pulling that hand down and attacking. Break that guard down. It's not guaranteed success, but it works when you try it though. Right, so I'm going to do this in orthodox, which is not my usual stance. So, when you're putting your combination together, please try not to get stuck in this little habit as a beginner. It's okay to do this if you're working on your body mechanics, that's fine. Please try to get out of this habit. Yeah, it's just throwing punches for the sake of throwing punches. I know this is an aqua bag, so I can throw uppercuts. Start trying to think centre line and flanks. Or centre line, flanks. Centre line, flanks. Try and get around that guard. Imagine this person has their hands up. So again, I'll do this. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to employ my usual tactics when I'm working a bag of thinking centre line and flanks. And please remember, I'm in my opposite stance. So I'm throwing shots to get hands up. But I'm going around them areas in different angles rather than just, there's nothing wrong with that. Use that to get the hands up. Volume punch. Wasn't hitting that hard. Over the top, round the flank. Start using that concept. Your boxing should get better and your combinations will improve. So there we have it, team. A tactic for you to think about. Centre line, flanks. We're not talking head movement or footwork at the moment. We only have 2 hands, 2 forearms and 2 elbows to defend incoming shots. And when we start defending one thing, we often open up to the other. It's very, very difficult, I would say virtually impossible, to defend your centre line and flanks all at the same time. If you're constantly throwing centre line, easy to defend. Constantly throwing flanks, easy to defend. When you combine the two, centre line, flank, centre line, level changes. It's easier to make a shot land. Just remember, not every shot has to be devastating. A lot of these shots are not throwaway shots. A lot of them are getting you to defend something and open up somewhere else. So employ that on your bag work. Don't look at it as just a heavy bag. I'm just going to hit it for the sake of hitting it. What am I doing and why am I doing it? Am I going head, body? Because maybe they're a hand dropper when they defend the body. Maybe they rotate with a good elbow parry to block that body shot, therefore opening up the centre line. So rather than just going centre line, centre line, centre line, reasonably easy to defend, centre line, flank. Centre line, flank, flank, centre line. Have a go at that. See how you get on. You will find your own combinations that feel natural and feel like they really work for you. Once you've worked them on the bag, if you've got someone that you're sparring with who's not trying to kill you, so you can try these new things, see if they work, put it to play, see if it works for you. Let me know in the comments how you get on with it. Till next time, train hard, train safe, train intelligently, train consistently, and I'll see you next time.